Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 247 of the Terminal City FC podcast, part of the Spark Podcast Network. Josh Ray joined alongside Nathan Durrick, as per usual, talking all things footy. And we got a lot to talk about on this week's show. But before we get to all the footy content, just want to let you know or remind you that the podcast is partnered with Edge Hunters, a sports betting website. But this is not your typical sports gambling website. It's match betting. So what is that? It's basically sports books, whoever they are, like Bet99, Play Now, Sports Interaction, give out free sign-up bonus bets to new customers, and Edge Hunters shows you how to cover both sides of the bet, so you can lock in the bonus regardless of whoever wins. Yep, so you're basically covering both sides of the bet, and no matter what happens, you will get some profit. I went through this, I think, last week, and it took less than 20 minutes, and this is not luck. It's calculations. You aren't predicting anything. And the sports books will give you bonuses. And of course, must be 19 plus to play. Know your limit, play within it. Please use your money responsibly. This link is in the description to all the podcast platforms, all the podcast platforms, and on our YouTube channel. So, the Whitecaps are back to winning ways. A 5-0 just the demolishing of FC Dallas at BC Place over the weekend. Heading into the game, we were wondering, okay, how is this team going to score goals? They answered that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this game was a bit of a perfect storm. There's no midweek game this week, so the Whitecaps were able to field their entire full lineup of every healthy player they had. That meant with Brian White back, he went into the starting lineup. You put Mueller and you put Gold on together to start the game. Savvy, a pacey winger on the other side. Basically anyone that you would expect to be on a starting 11 got to be in this one rather than having to split it up and worry about rotation because of games and a heavy schedule. And you got to see exactly what this team is when they have everything working for them.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've seen Thomas Mueller, Ryan Gauld, Brian White, and Emmanuel Sabbi start together, and it goes to show that this team is still, despite their recent struggles, one of the elites in MLS, an MLS Cup contender, and one of the best when it comes to offense and defense. And Emmanuel Sabbi was the one that opened the scoring, where he was given all that time and space from the corner kick, like no FC Dallas player was marking him, to fire the low shot past Jonathan Sirois.
Second phase of the corner kick, we actually had a couple of goals like that are on second phases in this game, but this one was a nice one. Sabbi sitting at the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball gets headed out, an attempt at a clearance, doesn't make it past Sabbi. He hits a nice, hard, low shot. It goes through traffic, so it's a bit of a difficult one for Swa to really see it, but, just picks the far corner, and that's it, 11 minutes in.
Yeah, he, White, and Ocampo were on fire in that first half alone. The way they moved the ball, their link-up play. And speaking of Brian White, back in the lineup, 2 goals. First one, with the he poaches, Eddie Ocampo runs down the wing, and then he just leaves Nolan Norris in the dust, and Brian White finds the tap in.
It's kind of funny because before White went injured, a few weeks ago, he was having a little bit of a struggle at that point. It's nice to see that maybe this injury almost was a bit of a reset for him, because he came back and he was just so lethal with everything that he did.
Yeah. And then his second one, again, second phase of a corner kick. FC Dallas failed to clear again. White with a half volley on his left foot. Blasts it past Jonathan Sirois. A brace for his return. You couldn't ask for a better return. White, as again, known for being a streaky scorer. And now that he's back on the score sheet, hopefully this means he's back to his usual self. And
this
then just
puts him at 12 goals in MLS, 13 goals in all competitions. But that 12, as far as I know, he's only 4 goals off the Golden Boot top, which is Petar Musa, also playing for FC Dallas, who, weirdly enough, was on the bench.
Yeah, but he didn't come on until the second half when FC Dallas made 4 subs. But I think he was the only one who got the shot on target on Yohei Takaoka, but it went right at Takaoka, so it wasn't a hard
Yeah, and
save.
also it was almost in stoppage time of the second half before they got that first shot on target.
Yeah, and Ocampo right before halftime, great cross, I believe it was from Kubas,
Mm-hmm.
and Ocampo's header just completely fooled Sirois.
It was a floater, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was a
floating
bit
header.
of a cheeky one where there wasn't a lot of power on it, but it was pinpoint precision just to kind of loft it over top Sirois and into the net. It was a very, very difficult angle as well. So he had to get that very, very right. Otherwise, it would have just kind of bounced off the crossbar.
Yeah, perfect timing. And
Yeah.
it goes to show that Ocampo, he doesn't really get a lot of. He's pretty like an underrated part of this team offensively and with the way he carries the ball into the box and the way he starts the attack and, of course, defends from the front. He's only like, what, 22, 23 years old and is already a
He's a
valuable
U21
piece.
initiative player.
Yeah, he's a U22 initiative player and is already a valuable piece to this Whitecaps team. When he first came, Vanni Sartini was still the coach, didn't play as much, but became a starter the very next season under Jesper Sorensen, and he still is.
Right now, he is actually leading the Whitecaps in assists with 8.
Yeah, which it's just crazy to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then speaking of South Americans, in the second half, Bruno Caicedo comes off the bench. He takes Thomas Muller's pass and pretty much buries it.
Yeah. Another 22 initiative player, Bruno Caicedo, also coming back from a bit of an injury. It was nice to see him get some minutes. He's one of those players that right now in his career, I think you're going to see more time of him coming off the bench to have those moments where he can use his speed as teams are tiring out a little bit. We'll have to wait and see, especially because as we get into next week and the game on the weekend, we're back to games every 3-4 days, and that goes up until I think September 19th or 20th. So slowly stays healthy. There could be a few starts in there for him as well.
Yeah, Bruno Caicedo is right now he's like a super sub type of player, but in a couple of years' time, he's definitely a starter for this team. It goes to show that he's not just a speed merchant. He can score, he can create, and it's nice to have him back because he provides that extra like spark in the Whitecaps attack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we should also mention that, Emmanuel Sabi, we're starting to see the Sabi from the second half of last season and in the playoffs. Like Brian White, I think time off gave him a chance to reset. Sabi had surgery, and now that he looks fully healthy, he looks more confident. Just can't wait to see what he does next. And with the clean sheet, Yohei Takaoka has tied David Ousted with 45 clean sheets, most in the MLS era. One more, and he will be the Whitecaps MLS era clean sheet king.
Yeah. I mean, you take a look at how many clean sheets Takaoka had last season. I think he led the league with, I don't quote me on this, I haven't looked it up. It was around 17 or something like that. So
he was at or near the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So this, again, I'm not surprised that he's gotten there as quick as he has. I know he's been around a while, but to be the MLS leader for this club already is a good achievement, or tied for the lead right now.
But he's, I believe, tied for second in the Whitecaps history as a whole, like the whole club dating back to 1974. The current leader is Paul Dolan, who, of course, was the color commentator on Apple TV for the game and many other Whitecaps games with Blake Price. So the Whitecaps are on top of the West, thanks to Houston losing to St. Louis. And the Whitecaps was a 5-star performance. Everybody did their job. Oh, we should also say a big plug once again to Oliver Larraz and Andres Kubis for doing their work in the midfield. Another solid game from Larraz, especially.
Didn't it feel like someone maybe had a bit of a talking with Larraz and just said, like, what you're doing, keep it up, but just kind of rein in a little bit? We didn't see all of those kind of errant shots that we saw before. He didn't seem like he was trying too hard to carry the world on his shoulders and rather just do his job as an effective member of an 11-player team.
Yeah. Though when the Whitecaps were up by a lot, it would have been a great opportunity for Larraz to try his thing again.
There
I
was one
thinking about
moment
that.
where
Like,
he
hey, we're
could
up
have,
4
right?
to 5
Yeah.
nothing. Larraz might as well just try for another screamer, but instead he kept things simple and started to pass the ball more and be more of a creator than a shooter, which is
you know
more
what?
than
One of
okay.
these times it's actually going to pay off for him, and he's going to get a goal, and no one is going to be more surprised than Oliver Larraz.
Yeah. Everybody did their job. Backline too. Ralph. There was some concern with Ralph Prizo. It looked like he hurt his ankle, which is why he was taken off at halftime for Matias Laborda. And we shall see if there's any update from Jesper Sorensen, I believe later today or later this week. So the Whitecaps are on the road this weekend. They will be heading to Kansas City to take on Sporting Kansas City. This is a battle between first in the West and dead last in the West. Actually, I believe dead last in the entire league. If we bring up the table.
And I mean, they also just lost a very, very big piece of their attack.
Yeah, Dejan Ovalic has been sold/traded to the Seattle Sounders for $6 million. Remember, Sporting Kansas City got him for 15 from LA Galaxy, and his time at Sporting Kansas City he was supposed to be the guy, but no one was giving him service. He had to do everything himself.
They basically signed him and then put him in chains, right? Like, you can't really blame Jovic for the lack of production if no one's going to get him the ball in the first place.
Yeah, and last time these two teams met was at BC Place in April, and Whitecaps beat them a very solid 3-0 win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the table here. Yeah, Sporting Kansas City is dead last in MLS.
There you go.
I believe it looks like with 15 points. And really, like, this team used to be one of the most feared elite teams in MLS, and now they are a bottom feeder. 4-3-14 record, 20 goals for, 51 goals against, minus 31 goal differential. Compare that to the Whitecaps. 45 goals for, 18 goals against, plus 27 goal differential.
Not only that, but look at the XG differential for the Whitecaps. They dwarf the second place team in the league. I think they're at 29 point something in XG differential. The second team right now is Miami at 9 point something.
Yeah, like
it's more than double.
I saw this chart not too long ago where it showed that, or some other stat. The Whitecaps were nearly like off the chart.
Yeah, they're a statistical anomaly right now.
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning the Whitecaps at 40 points. This is the fastest the Whitecaps have ever got to 40 points, and they look on pace to beat last year's points record.
And I mean, they're in second in the entire league right now. When you look at Supporter Shield, Nashville is ahead of them, but Nashville's not completely out of the water in front of them yet, right? They are.
9 points ahead.
Yeah, it is a
so Nashville and
possibility.
Vancouver are the only team with 40 points.
Yeah, the only teams with 40 points right now. And the nice thing is Whitecaps also have a game in hand on Nashville.
Yeah, but Nashville looks like a runaway train.
Right now they do. They're undefeated in four. They've won their last 3.
Yeah, but back to Sporting Kansas City. Like, I'm just looking at what they've been up to recently. They
nothing.
What's the last time they won an actual game? They lost 2-1 in Atlanta, but last time they won a game was July 22nd against Minnesota. 2-1 win.
That's it. Other than that, they are winless in 5, and they only have 1 point in those 5 matches. Draw against St. Louis City.
Just looking at their roster, Jovic is gone.
Yeah,
really isn't anyone to write home about. Maybe there's also, I guess, Canadian international Zoran Bassong, who has been called up for Canada from time to time, and we could see him at the Nations League or Gold Cup next year, most likely the Gold Cup. And Sporting Kansas City actually made a record-breaking transfer this morning. Owen Wolf from Austin. Oh, well, most money ever to acquire a U2022 initiative player from within the league.
Oh, really?
For $4.5 million guaranteed, with another $3.1 million in performance-based incentives. I mean, that's something, I guess.
It is something. I mean, they're desperate for trying to bring players in. They actually have tried to do some business. I guess it's nice to see actually something going on, but especially when you remove a player like Jolich, that you need not only a replacement for him, but then you've got to solve the problem that existed beforehand, is getting service as well. One other stat I want to bring up with this match coming up right away is in the last 5 meetings between the Whitecaps and SKC, the Whitecaps have outscored SKC 12-2. So,
and I mean, believe they won a large chunk. I know last year, I'm pretty sure they did the double over them as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're outscoring them 12-2 in the last 5 matches, that's got to go back a couple years.
Yeah. I should also mention Sporting Kansas City also signed Andre Luis to a like $7.5 million transfer, which is their club record. So they're spending the money, but right now it still isn't good on the pitch for Sporting Kansas City. So it wouldn't be surprised if the Whitecaps win by at least 3 here, given the talent difference between these two teams.
You're going to see roster rotation again because of the midweek game coming up for Canadian Championship. Although Canadian Championship, you're also going to see more of the youth contingent also in that game as well. I will be interested to see how Sorensen decides to line up for SKC, knowing there is that midweek cup competition match. Also knowing just that right now, SKC is a team wounded. So you can definitely take advantage of them. And then all of a sudden, you're kind of not only just one game finally, showing back to winning ways, you're starting to have a bit of a trend. I think you have to go kind of hard on this game.
You have to.
Yeah, show that, Seattle wasn't a blip. Show that Dallas wasn't a blip, right? That this is you climbing out. Because if you win this, all of a sudden, that's 3 of the last 4. And, you're off the races again.
Yeah.
Narrative changes.
Yeah, coach prove that last game wasn't an anomaly, and I guess it's a bottom feeder. It's like the worst team in the league, but prove that Whitecaps are still among the elites. And
the one thing with sports honestly, is that when someone is down, you got to keep punching. So,
yeah, it's really interesting to see what kind of lineup Sorensen plays, especially with the midweek game against Montreal in the Canadian Championship. That's actually on Wednesday. Alexis Sanchez will come to town. But first and foremost, Sporting Kansas City this Saturday, 5:30 our time. I won't be there. I'm going to be on vacation. I mean, not be there. I won't watch. I'm going to be on vacation. Nathan will cover the game. And hopefully we get another Whitecaps win and a lot of goals to talk about next week.
Absolutely. A couple of signings or signing rumors that we need to talk about with the Whitecaps before we take off here. One, we talked about this, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but it's finally done. Emmerich Fotzing of Vancouver FC is now official. He is a Vancouver Whitecap. He will be loaned back to VFC for the remainder of this season. Right now, he's currently injured, so they got the signing done so that he can do his rehabilitation in Whitecaps facilities before he goes back on loan. He will be joining the Whitecaps before the sprint season next year.
Yeah. Signed a contract to 29-30 with an option for 20-31. A young talent was part of the U20 Canadian team that qualified for the U20 World Cup.
Yeah. I like this signing. I think he's a really good young Canadian player to watch. This is a player that actually a lot of people were starting to watch even a year ago when he started kind of breaking into VFC's senior squad. I like the idea of also taking a look not only at Canadians, but Canadians in your area, right? Like BC is a hotbed for soccer growth. And I like the idea of, being able to work with clubs in your area.
Yeah, it doesn't have not too far, just down the road. In Langley, 9 starts and 13 appearances this year with Vancouver FC, part of the product of CF.
Yeah. He came out of CF Montreal's academy before going into the CFL or CPL. He also, as Josh, you were saying, the U20 championship that just happened, he was co-captain of that team as well. So it shows that his importance also in leadership qualities.
Yeah, one to watch for the future as well. And there's another signing that seems imminent. One from Italy, from Udinese, and this is a more proven player. Har and Gazzetta Italia report that the Whitecaps are close to acquiring Rui Modesto, a Portuguese-born but Angolan international, 26-year-old right winger / fullback who was on loan from with Serie B club Palermo.
Yeah.
So versatility, right wing and right wing back.
I'm not too sure how close this is yet. From what I'm seeing, actually, is the one club that seems to be leading the charge to sign him is actually Polish club Rakow Częstochowa. They're the club that's kind of seems to be leading the race right now. Whitecaps are definitely in the hunt, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, but it seems like this is close. And I think that goes to show how well Eddie Ocampo is impressing, and this guy could be a potential success for him. I don't think Ocampo's leaving this summer or next winter, possibly next summer. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he's already getting interest from Europe.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but I think from a U22 initiative contract, he still signs a full senior contract. And then from there, they might look at, any sort of future movement. But I don't see Ocampo leaving, let's say, the end of the 2028 season. I would say even one season past the sprint season, the 2027-2028 season. Yeah, which I have to say it that way now because it's going to go over the winter.
Yeah. So this Modesto fellow, 26 years old, more proven. So this also gives them another option with their attack for that right side. So you got Sabi who can play there, Gol can play there, Sabali can play there, and potentially Rui Modesto.
Yep.
So we'll see where this goes. Intriguing signing. Nice to see that it's an experienced player.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in.
He's played
several.
AIK in Sweden, a few places elsewhere in Scandinavia as well.
Yeah, he's played in Finland.
Yeah.
He is originally a right back, but since he moved to Finland, he's became more of a right. I believe, Hong Kong, and then he another Finland.
Moving on now to the other Vancouver team, Vancouver Rise were in the nation's capital, taking on league leaders in the NSL, Ottawa Rapid. And came away with a kind of a commanding 5-1 win in Ottawa. Ottawa had been hit kind of hard. They actually had just lost to Calgary Wild, the lowest ranked or the lowest placed team in the league currently. And in that game, lost their talismanic scorer, DB Pridham. Pridham had gotten the Golden Boot last season. 2 yellow cards meant that she was suspended for this match against the Rise, and it showed with a lack of firepower. Alex Lemontagna, 2 goals to start her very first start for the Rise.
Not bad for a first start.
And right on either side of the half, one in stoppage time in the first half and in the first minute of the second half. So kind of made her presence known right away. Other goals and about Matthew Lopez, and then a penalty from Camila Reyes.
And Camila Reyes from the spot.
Mia Pante, I believe, was also back for this match after out with a bit of an injury. So it was very nice to see her come back. This puts the Rise now up into 4th. They've leapfrogged over the Tides. They've got a 1-point cushion over the Tides. Not a whole lot, but it is something. And they're only 3 points behind AFC Toronto for that 3rd place. If you remember last year, the Rise finished in 3rd in the NSL table, tied on points with the team that was in 2nd. But if they can continue this increase of where they were, it would be something really, really nice to see. They actually will play the Calgary Wild this weekend on Saturday at 3 p.m. at Swangard. So, I mean, the Wild hadn't looked that good. In fact, they hadn't won a game until 3 weeks ago, where they won their very first game of the season against the Rise. But since then,
against Vegas at Swangard.
At Swangard, they've been undefeated in 3. They won against the Rise, they won against Ottawa, and they drew against the Roses. So things might be turning around for Calgary right now. Whitecaps, they're enjoying a couple of wins here recently, but in order to keep that in, this is a team that has turned the corner. It should be an interesting one.
Yeah. Good for the Rise for getting a statement win against the best team in the league. Yeah, without DB Pridham, but to win like that against the best team in the league at home, I mean, on the road, shows, exactly. The hunger, the quality of this team. And good to see players like Bout and Lemontage, like in her first start, step up.
Yeah.
So Rise Wild this Saturday at Swangard. Hopefully the Rise can get another win.
Be nice.
So let's there's a lot of Canadian players on the move to Europe. So Nathan Saliba's move to Villarreal is official, as he leaves Anderlecht to reunite with Tejan Buchanan and Tani Olawase with the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, this is kind of Canada's team in Spain right now.
Yeah, or Europe, just in general.
Or Europe, yeah.
They're like 3 Canadians at a big European club. Unheard of like 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
15 million pound euro fee.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Very good for Nathan Saliba. His trajectory has been rapid. Because you think, like, he didn't spend a whole lot of time with Anderlecht. I think a lot of people noticed him at the World Cup, especially when he came on from for Ishmael Kone in that game against Qatar, where he got that beautiful free kick goal and then held up the shirt. From there, he went on and played a few more games in the World Cup, and I think his stock just skyrocketed from there. So he is getting the well-deserved plaudits right now.
Yeah, well-deserved move for Nathan Saliba. And also looks like Steven Eustáquio is leaving Porto to join Swansea City.
Yeah.
For about 4 million euros. Permanent.
Good move. I mean, if he wasn't going to get the playing time in Porto, then, obviously you want to look elsewhere. It's going to be interesting to see how effective Eustachio is in the championship. We all know the championship in England is a difficult league. It is a physical league. It's considered the hardest league to get out of. But I feel Eustachio will excel.
Yeah. He's got the tools too. It's physical, but Eustachio has handled CONCACAF.
He's intelligent.
So,
He's one of the more intelligent
and
players.
Swansea would benefit from his creativity.
So. Yeah.
Defensive work. Yeah, and a very intelligent player as well. And former Whitecap, Jaden Nelson, is set to leave Austin and join Bolton in League One.
Championship. They got promoted.
Oh, yeah, they're right. They're in the championship. They got promoted. So another Canadian in the championship.
Yeah.
And Whitecaps do get his sell-on fee.
They will. When they sold him to Austin, there was, I think it was like 1.1, 1.2. And then there was also a draft pick, I believe, in there. But then there was a sell-on clause if the sale was over a certain number. We don't know exactly what that number was, but it has been since confirmed that it has been surpassed. There will be a sell-on fee.
It's 2.3
Good million. Move for Nelson. A bit of a surprise for me because he didn't seem like he was doing all that much in Austin. You know what?
Wasn't playing that
much.
New
pastures. I hope it works out well for him. This is going to be a battle for him because you got to remember Bolton's a former Premier League team, fell in hard times, got relegated a couple of times. They're now back up to the championship. This is their first year back. So they got something to prove, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see how well Jaden adapts.
Yeah. Championship is a difficult league, as we mentioned, but Nelson's got the speed, the creativity. It just needs the consistency, obviously, for attacking.
You think of the number of former Whitecaps in the championship now, because you got Ali Ahmed. I know he's injured right now, but still with Norwich. You got Berhalter with Middlesbrough. There's a number of players. Like we talked about all the Canadians that are in the Premier League. There's still a lot that are in the championship doing really, really well.
Yeah. So you got Nelson, Eustachio, Liam Miller, Ali Ahmed, among the names in the championship.
Miller,
and Alfie Jones as well.
No, Miller's in the Premier League with Hull, isn't he?
Oh, you're right. Liam Miller's in the.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting Hull got promoted.
Yeah, I know. Well, they wouldn't be up there for long. You can write them in like 19th. Write them in 19th right now.
I write them in 20th.
I don't know. I'm putting
most
Ipswich
people have.
20th. Either way, Ipswich and Hull are going down.
Yeah, several Canadians in the championship. 5, it looks like.
A bit of a kind of not so great news as far as Canadians go. Alistair Johnson with Celtic has been ruled out until at least October with his current injury. This is a player that had been talked about quite a bit for a possible move to the Premier League, with Everton's name popping up in more than one conversation. Not going to happen now, being that his injury is going to go well past the transfer deadline. Have to wait and see if January brings any new news. But, if you take a look at what Celtic's been doing right now, they can use all the help they can get. They just got absolutely stomped in European competition.
They blew a lead to, what was that team?
Oh, my gosh.
LASK?
Yeah. And I think it was quite a bit. Wasn't it ended up like 4-1 or something like that?
5-1. Aggregate 5-4. One of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history.
Well, you know what? Good on them.
For Celtic and Alistair Johnson.
Celtics, their last, even going back last season, yes, I know they came out of nowhere, ended up winning the thing on the last gasp, very last day. But you have to say it wasn't deserved.
No,
this is a club with problems right now. Them and Rangers. Go Motherwell.
We got our Hearts.
Yeah.
Who nearly won the title last year.
Yeah. Or Aberdeen.
All right.
Had a soft
stay in Europe since we're technically over there. The Premier League is back. Chelsea are back. And they won their first game of the season with a 3-2 win at Fulham. And it just took 31 seconds for Chelsea to score. Fastest ever opening day goal in Premier League history. Cole Palmer finds João Pedro, who chips Bernard Leno. Just like that, Chelsea are up 1-0.
Not bad.
Like snap of a finger. Yeah, not bad. And not bad for the guy wearing number 9. At times, it looked like a very, attack-minded game from Xabi Alonso. You see the way they're moving the ball and being fast up the pitch, but Chelsea looked shaky at times, with the ball, giving the ball away and defending. Levi Cole didn't have his best game. And Josh King, I don't know what it is, but every time he plays Chelsea, he scores. He shoots on Robert Sanchez, and the ball pretty much goes right by him. Like slips through his fingers. Again, Robert Sanchez is not that guy to be a starter at this club. More on the goalkeeper situation later. He also gave up a poor rebound that led to Gonzalo Garcia's first goal for Fulham later in the second half. Again, this guy and mistakes. Constant. It's been like 4 seasons now. Oh, man. Chelsea's not winning a league title with this guy in goal. But when it comes to the attack, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers. They've already got the nickname JP Morgan, which is very creative. João, Palmer, Morgan Rogers.
Sure.
It's only one game, but this attack looks so exciting. Rogers did get his first Chelsea goal, with Maxence Lacroix, of all people, charging up the pitch and finding the cross to find Morgan Rogers. So much for the 007, as haters would say. Rogers ended that in like 30 minutes. And then early in the second half, Cole Palmer, assisted by João Pedro on the counterattack. João Pedro just sees Palmer running, and almost like a 10 himself, Palmer just runs down, and then he beats Leno 5-0. Great game from Cole Palmer. A goal and an assist. Great game from João Pedro. Goal and an assist, and Morgan Rogers with a goal. Very exciting attack. I hope this is a sign of things to come. And good on Maxence Lacroix for keeping the back line together. Josh Anchepang looked good. Low. Should mention him. Reece James as a midfielder looks solid. Hopefully Moises Caicedo is back next week. Same with Marco Palestra. They're dealing with minor injuries. Despite Robert Sanchez's mistakes and some defending, good, exciting game. Good win for Chelsea. Good start to the Xabi Alonso era. And then the ongoing Enzo Fernandez saga. At full time, he does not clap the fans. He just walks away to the tunnel. Yeah, that signs that he's gone. He's given the green light to Man City. Enzo Maresca still won. City are reportedly sending a bid that could be up to £140 million, which would break the British transfer record. You know what? He doesn't want to be at Chelsea. Let him go.
You know what? If you can get 140 million, that's pretty amazing.
I'm taking that. We're going to reinvest. And all the insiders are saying this final week of the transfer window is going to be very, you're going to see a lot of stuff happen for Chelsea.
You've got a lot of clubs that are at very potentially breaking their transfer records for the amount spent.
Yeah, it's like this guy has done nothing to silence the rumors. He just makes things worse by being quiet, and it feels like this saga's dragged on for years. Just ended already. I'm sick of it. Let him go. Let him go. Doesn't want to be at Chelsea anymore. We only want players who want to play for Chelsea. So
Sure.
it seems like if Chelsea get rid of Enzo Fernandez, they're going to look at Alex Scott of Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are very adamant they don't want to sell. And if Man City don't sign Enzo Fernandez, they can sign Alex Scott.
Yeah.
Again, Bournemouth are playing hardball. But Chelsea still see Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace, Manu Kone of Roma, and Real Madrid's Eduardo Camavinga, who Xabi Alonso spoke highly of when he was there, as potential replacements. I do have concerns about Wharton's speed and his defensive ability. And Camavinga has kind of fallen off the last couple of years with injuries. He didn't make the
That's true.
France World Cup squad for a reason. Scott, I don't. Sure, I guess. Mano Kone is an interesting name, though. But again, get rid of Enzo Fernandez if he doesn't want to be here. Take the 100, 140 million, whatever it is.
You'd be able to bring in a replacement
Speaking
for
of
half
departures,
that.
Liam Delap is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chelsea bought Liam Delap from Ipswich Town for 30 million last year. They have sold him for 45 million pounds plus 5 million in add-ons.
Nice piece of business.
Their transfer record. 45 million for Liam Delap. You take that any day of the week. Thank you for the money. Pleasure doing business with you. And Liam Delap, one of the worst, probably the worst striker I've ever seen play for Chelsea, does nothing more than be slow and fight. So maybe he'll do better at Forest under Sean Dyche, but good riddance. And take that 45 million any day of the week.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Jackson has apparently agreed personal terms with Aston Villa, it looks like, and Villa are looking to send a 60 million pound bid, could be 65. And it looks like this deal will actually happen. Unai Emery wants to reunite with Nicholas Jackson, who he coached with at Villarreal. Yeah, it's almost done. Aston Villa are willing to spend over 60 million. Depending on how this goes, it could be done today, tomorrow, within the next few days. I mean, Nicholas Jackson has the capabilities of being a really good striker, but you take 60 million for him any day of the week. Too bad it didn't work out here at Chelsea, but all the best to him if he goes to Aston Villa. And speaking of goalkeepers, there's been a bombshell from Ornstein this morning that Chelsea are after Emi Martinez, Argentina Aston Villa goalkeeper. Now, you know my feelings about him. I don't like his antics. I don't like his attitude. I don't like how arrogant he is. He is a good goalkeeper. Yes, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. 33 years old. Goalkeepers are in that age are still in their prime.
Yep.
But he, like Sanchez, makes errors. And as much as I dislike the guy for his attitude, it makes sense as a bridge for Mike Penders. Because Penders isn't ready yet. Emi Martinez could stay for a couple of years or so and be that mentor, bridge figure, and then leave once Penders is ready. I would prefer Diogo Costa by far. Better. I think he's a better goalkeeper and obviously a better person. But you know what? If I had to choose between Emi Martinez and Robert Sanchez, no brainer, Emi Martinez.
Yeah. The only thing is the off-pitch antics. Are you getting rid of Fernandez to bring in Martinez, and then it's the same thing?
Yeah, I hope Xabi Alonso whips him into shape. Though he failed to do that with egos at Real Madrid, but we'll see. Villa's number one goalkeeper is now Zion Suzuki, the Japanese goalkeeper. So, Emi Martinez has been looking to leave. He's been looking to leave for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So, as much as I dislike the guy, sure. It's better than Sanchez.
There you go.
So, Chelsea have Luton Town, I believe, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow in the Carabao Cup. Penders will start that game. And then Brighton on Sunday at Stamford Bridge. So, Spurs, what happened? All that money spent,
as far as first matches can go in your season, you couldn't get much worse than this. Up against Brentford in Brentford Stadium, Spurs actually have a pretty decent record over there. This was 3-0 loss. Should have been 4-0. Could have been 6 or 7. Interesting. One of the interesting things was Archie Gray took the captain's band with Mickey Van de Ven out injured. It's the youngest ever player to wear the Spurs armband for a match, which was pretty interesting.
And he's playing at right wing?
Yeah, he's at right wing right now because Pedro Porro was out.
And he's a defender.
Because he's still trying to get back to match fitness from World Cup. So right now, no one really there to handle to handle the right wing. So unfortunately, that's what you're left with. So either fitness issues or Javi Simmons. Simmons will be out until about February or March with an ACL. Basically, the season's written off for him. So that unfortunately sucks. Center back pairing. The back line in this game made no sense to me. You had 3 players who have never played for Spurs and 1 player playing out of position. Yep. It defied logic to me. And when you had Van Hecke and Senesai together, like, they were suspect on that first goal. The marking was poor. They have no chemistry yet. They haven't had time to make chemistry. It was very, very disjointed. I did wonder why you didn't put in someone like Kevin Danzo to at least start, being he's the one player who is healthy and understands how this team plays. And then Kinski on the outlet pass on the second. It tries to pass to Bergevall to start at a break. Basically, it's a blindsided pass. He's instantly picked off. Ball within 2 seconds later is in the back of his own net. And you can also argue that, well, I mean, a lot of people are arguing Kinski was in error for the third one. I think the error one was the entire team. The entire team was just
everybody made an error.
Ball watching on the corner.
The whole game.
Everyone made an error. There was a penalty in this game. For Brentford, they hit the post around. The one saving grace in this is out of that entire lineup, there's maybe 3 or 4 players who are actually starters. The rest were rotated because of all the injuries that are happening right now and the midweek game, which is coming up today against Charlton in Leagues Cup. So I don't know, take that maybe as your saving grace or your silver lining. We'll have to wait and see. We haven't seen this team yet. That team last weekend was not, I want to say it was not Tottenham, but then again, I look at the last 2 years, maybe it was. After all the hope that was built up this summer with the transfers and actually spending and a coach that seems to genuinely want to be here, that was a kick in the teeth. That hurt.
Yeah, figured. I totally understand.
Yeah, some good news. Savinho, done. £75 million fee. There is conditional add-ons. He will now go by his actual name, Savio. The reason why he had gone by Savinho is back when he was playing for his national team, and his national team actually put Savinho on the back of a jersey without him realizing it. He ended up doing well and then asked Man City if he could just keep it. But he is going back to Savio, which is the name he had when he did play so well with, I want to say Girona, back in Spain. So who knows? Maybe that will do something for him as well. Marmouche, the agreed is got out as £1 million, certain conditions. It sounds like the medic here in the next few hours to a day, see how that is being done too. Still looking at the whole striker saga. Cody Gakpo, Willie Wooney. De Zerbi has now said that he would like to be reunited with the striker that he brought in to Marseille from Rennes, Amin Gouiri. Gouiri had not done well with Rennes, but when he came over to Marseille, he suddenly became a top striker. Did really, really well under De Zerbi, and now De Zerbi is saying this is a guy that they should be looking out. We'll have to wait and see. We also just talked about injuries. We can add James Maddison back to that list. Somehow he fractured his shoulder. It seems to be actually very minor for a fractured shoulder. They're only expecting about a couple of weeks, but for a player that missed pretty much the entirety of last season, it's just another setback, which sucks. Charlton today, Leagues Cup. On the weekend will be Newcastle.
All right. Again, man, for a fractured shoulder, you'd expect the guy to be out like months. 2 weeks?
No. I do kind of wonder, I mean, football's a physical game, right? You are hitting each other, bodies and whatnot. So when they say a couple of weeks, I do wonder just how bad that fracture is. Is it a fracture or is it something else? But
we'll see. If 2 weeks is the right timeline.
Moving on, we're talking about
Speaking of
how
sagas that won't end.
UEFA had started banning all. Had said they're going to ban all participation in FIFA competitions over Infantino's decision to privatize FIFA tournaments, the World Cup, and et al. And all the others. It does look like they are going to stop that, which is right on time because European qualifications for the Women's World Cup is coming up right away. So that will at least, allow European qualifications to resume. UEFA said that they've received guarantees that the privatization ploy, all that stuff, will never happen again. There is actually going to be talks today in Monaco, I believe it was. I can't remember, but yeah, there's talks today. Hopefully that'll be solidified. That doesn't erase the issue. It doesn't mean that there are individual FAs that have already registered that are not supporting Infantino, but at least it looks like UEFA's participation in competitions will not be damaged, which is really good, especially with Women's World Cup qualifications coming up here within a matter of weeks.
Yeah, and the UEFA member federations are meeting tomorrow in Morocco ahead of the Champions League draw, where they're going to for the boycott threat.
It was Monaco. Okay, I was right.
Yeah, Monaco. So FIFA Under 20 Women's World Cup kicks off September 5th in Poland, and of course there's the Women's World Cup qualifiers that begin in a matter of months, I believe, weeks. So hopefully that's
very soon. The next window.
Yeah, the end of that. And the previous deadline was November 18th. And, of course, next spring, there are going to be the elections for the next FIFA president, which Infantino has confirmed to us that he is running for re-election.
He has. Right now, he is the only one that's officially confirmed. But the other thing is, and I can't remember what the guy's name is, but the guy who is head of UEFA has officially said that he would not run.
Yeah. Of course, there's still speculation regarding other guys like our very own Victor Montagliani. Yeah, he has been quiet about that, rightfully so, but we'll see.
Yeah. Interesting enough, current competition happening in the Caribbean, Montagliani had actually asked Infantino not to attend because of what's been going on right now. Infantino ignored that and went anyway. So he definitely he's throwing his weight around a little bit, trying to reassert some of his lost dominance.
Yeah. And of course, Infantino is still heavily involved with trying to save the Whitecaps. And I should mention that, last week's report, or, reports, it's not done until it's official. I was told that it was done by a couple of people, and then a few hours later, someone else backtracked saying, yeah, it's done, but there's still minor details. So take that with a grain of salt. I took it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we'll end with another ongoing player saga. So Julian Alvarez, by now, I all know, wants to leave Atletico Madrid and play for Barcelona. And there's so many memes about that. He looks so unhappy there. But it looks like Barcelona aren't going to budge on a move. And Julian Alvarez has been linked to Arsenal. Apparently he's already rejected them, and he's been offered to Chelsea, but Chelsea don't need him.
Really? Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I knew the Arsenal one, but...
Yeah, and then Atletico Madrid put out a statement saying the player's being victimized. Only the victim of the Julian case is us. Barcelona's harmed them economically and socially. They're not selling him to Barcelona. Yada, yada, yada. So he's stuck at Atletico Madrid, it seems.
Yep.
Well, since you're staying, honor your contract. At least play football. Play for the badge of the team that you're with. Try not to sulk. Because Atletico Madrid won 150 million euros for Julian Alvarez. But they're willing to sell him to any club except Barcelona. So, if Alvarez accepted Arsenal, he would have been gone already.
He would have been, absolutely.
So, again, unlike the Enzo Fernandez saga, which is, I believe, close to being done, Julian Alvarez, this one will probably drag on until next summer. Likely will.
No doubt.
Yeah, he is stuck at Atletico for the time being, unless, if he really wants to get out of there, go to Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Or if the Saudi Pro League comes in, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing I don't like about players. Like, oh, I only want to go to this place. It just makes things complicated. And the guy that suffers the most is Julian Alvarez in this situation. At least he didn't throw a tantrum on the training ground like that other guy with Wolves.
Yeah, exactly, right? Where he literally sat down in the middle of the pitch and refused to move. They had to cancel training.
Yeah, at least he's playing games, but it's clear he's not happy. Anyway, that concludes this week's episode.
Yeah.
Once again, click the referral link for Edge Hunters to get started on match betting today. Follow me on Twitter at JoshuaRay00, Nathan and Enduric podcast at Terminal City FC. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram as well. Search up Terminal City FC. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. And check out all the other Spark Podcast Network podcasts and all the Hockey Podcast Network podcasts and all our articles for Area 51 Sports Network. So for now, that will conclude this week's episode. We've got something special coming up soon. So stick around and find out what that is. So that will include the live stream part of this episode. So for those watching, thank you. Peace out.
Take care.